Alright everyone, now we have to talk about P. Diddy. I wasn't going to bother talking about the case at all because of course we've got video evidence of him beating up his ex-girlfriend. We'll get into the importance of that beyond the obvious. But now you've got a second person claiming he sexually assaulted her some years ago. Under normal circumstances, I dismiss Me Too allegations unless there's further evidence. So somebody says, 30 years ago, this producer raped me. And sometimes it's a shakedown for a settlement or something like that. The problem for P. Diddy is he's fucked. And by the way, full disclosure here, I could not name a song by him. I know nothing about him other than, I guess he does rap or something like that. I don't give a shit. Here's the problem for P. Diddy. You have video evidence of him beating a girl into the ground. Not like he just got pimp slapped, but like beating her to the ground and then kicking her in the ribs when she's already seemingly unconscious and stuff. This will predispose any potential jury in any future case against him. And so you can look for some dogpiling. All of those secondary cases, by the way, might be spurious. It could be that he never actually did anything wrong, but he's fucked anyway. Best case scenario for him is that he ends up achieving a number of out-of-court settlements, and I would be surprised if the second accuser was the last one that came forward. It's believable because you have that original video. Normally, you don't have proof of a crime in criminal proceedings. Normally, you have evidence, and you prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the person done it. You don't normally have the ability to outright objectively prove that the crime was committed. You normally don't have video evidence of this. So, say you're a prosecutor and you get a case and you think that somebody has murdered another person. So you try to put two and two together. So you say, okay, we've got a couple of witnesses that saw him in the general vicinity at the time. He claims he has an alibi that he was at home at the time, but he's got no corroborative witnesses that are willing to, under oath, say that he was actually there. He was seen wielding a weapon similar to the one that's presumed to have been the murder weapon. We couldn't find the weapon, and sometimes you can't. But he was seen with it by a number of individuals. So he doesn't really have a strong alibi. He has a connection to the scene potentially. Oh yeah, and by the way, he worked with this person years ago. And the manager under testimony says, well, they fucking hated each other and screamed at each other in the back room or something like that. That's a pretty solid case. That's pretty much all you can possibly hope for in most criminal proceedings, by the way. In this case, we have video corroboration that this actually happened. It's not a fun video. If you haven't seen a trigger warning or whatever the fuck you have to issue these days, it is a dude beating a diminutive female to the ground repeatedly and then kicking her in the ribs once she's already down. I'm assuming that there was substance abuse involved in this particular case. I think that probably wouldn't be a stretch. The problem, therefore, is that he might be innocent of any additional charge or any additional civil proceedings that he may encounter. But it's not going to matter because you have that original video. He's fucked. He's going to lose everything, effectively. Probably end up in jail. Even if he doesn't end up in jail, he's going to end up paying through the nose. And it won't even matter. I mean, this is, if you've ever been connected with P. Diddy in an interpersonal setting, you were his girlfriend or worked with him as a staffer or anything like that, without any evidence right now you can take him to the bank. And settlement could be a few $100,000. Everyone could use that under Bidenomics, so I'd be surprised if he didn't end up having a shit ton of assets liquidated. Again, I know he's famous for being a rapper or something like that. I know nothing further about him. I'm just assuming that he's worth a shit ton of money. Like a Kanye or somebody like that. Or Lil Wayne, or R. Kelly. Yeah, R. Kelly is having a real hard time, pun intended, in prison at the moment for various reasons. I think that Sean Diddy might follow him there. He's dead to rights because you've got objective proof that a crime actually was committed. And even though that's not sexual assault, that's physical assault, beating somebody up. That will carry over. Jurors may be totally instructed in separate cases to not even consider that. Well, they might even ask them before they're a juror, did you see the Sean Diddy tape where he beats his girlfriend up? No? Okay, maybe you're okay for the jury. But they've seen it anyway. They'll just say no, they'll lie about it to be on such a case, which would be, generally those would be civil matters, but those can involve 6- and 7-figure payouts, sometimes more than that, like we've seen with Gene Carroll and Stormy and all of these other things. It happens all the time. Normally you don't have, though, corroboration that the person is clearly not necessarily a woman's rights activist. And so he's probably completely fucked. That's about all. Peace out.